Not gonna lie, I'm pretty nervous with my Tesla parked over there. Okay, so this is the overflow of the SpaceX hearing for Terafab project in Grimes County.
Directly on Highway 30. The most recent maps show that the reinvestment zone borders us on all of our three other sides. Any increase in the size of Highway 30 would then encroach on our property and affect our home and pasture land. This is going to affect the value of our homes by either an increase or a decrease. Either will cause a financial burden on us and everyone else. If the value drops, then it affects the value of our assets, and we have just retired. If it increases, then we will be burdened with an increase in tax rates that may force us to sell, and no private citizen would want to buy property completely surrounded by such a large company, forcing us to sell at a loss. That's common sense. And if the map changes and we become in the zone, we should not be forced to sell or be included. Non-ag companies should not be able to take over our farm and ranch land. The cost of beef and other food is already ridiculous, resulting in a financial burden across the country. Any company that is commercial, non-ag
only safeguard we have.
It's a very negative. Okay, so everyone who has spoken at the hearing is very negative. They, at first, the head of the Terafab project spoke. He did a really good job, and now they're just hearing from residents, mostly negative. And it is live. If you sign up on the Grimes County portal, you can be watching it live right now. I don't have a link because you can really only watch it or share it if you're signed in. So you need to do a sign in for the Grimes County, Texas portal, and you can start watching the hearing live. They're live streaming it on a TV inside and a TV outside. Everyone's playing it on their phones, and I'm just live streaming it here so you can see what it's like on the ground. I was prepared to speak in favor of the project, but they stopped taking forms. I have my form right here. They stopped taking them before the 10-minute cutoff, so I didn't get mine turned in. I'm not sure I would have wanted to speak anyway. Although I am a resident around here, I'm one of the very few for it. And I'm a little bit nervous because my Tesla is parked right over around the corner, but it's right in front of the sheriff's office, so hopefully it's safe. I'm going to turn it back around so you can see the crowd. I saw one Cybertruck one Model X Plaid like mine, my Model X Plaid, and a Model Y was behind me in a blue Model Y. You know who you are if you're watching this. It did opened with a prayer, and the first speaker said a prayer, and they both ended their prayer with, if it doesn't get approved, so be it, but if it does, have faith in God that Terafab and SpaceX and Elon will live up to their promises and preserve the community and make it better and bring progress to Grimes County.
That operations use over 400 different chemical products, including heavy metals, volatile organic solvents, strong acids, and alkalis. They rely heavily on PFAs. CFAs are called forever chemicals because they do not break down naturally. These chemicals have associations with cancer, autoimmune diseases, birth defects, and liver damage, just to name a few. Any toxic runoff, industrial spills, or accidental leaks from the fabs, chemical storage areas could migrate into the Gibbons Creek watershed, where it will spread all over the place. Some previous fab sites, like one in California and Silicon Valley, are now super polluted, super violent sites.
Jenny, Bowen, okay, thank you. And James David Reeves, if you would make yourself ready, please. Jenny.
Good morning, gentlemen. Well, I'm glad I get to speak twice because I was up against my 2 minutes when I practiced. So, I am a resident of Montgomery County, but my husband and I rented a home in Keith for 26 years. It's where we raised our daughter, we were married, and we hope to retire to. God asks that we as mortals act justly. Justice is being honest and transparent, having integrity and moral solvency. Justice is beyond reproach. It is standing up for what is right and honoring your word. To this last point, when looking through the guidelines, and I'll bring up a little more later, but I would just like to point to the topic on page 16 that discusses that this would not be authorized. The tax abatement, which of course involves the reinvestment zone, which is required if you have a tax abatement. It would not be authorized if the property or if the planned or potential use of the property would constitute a hazard to public safety or morals. And I know we have reassurances, but we need independent of that as Grimes County. I'm a landowner, not a resident right now, but these people, residents, deserve that. We don't fully understand or know the implications this development will have on our public safety, health, or morals. Do your due diligence and please require independent studies to determine the projected effect on our roads, resources, and way of life. Will this result in heavy traffic, overly stressed natural and human resources, and significant noise, light, and or other pollutants? If so, then this criteria will have not been met according to your own guidelines and criteria. And therefore, the opinion should not be granted and their investment zones will not be developed. This results in heavy traffic, overly
Okay, so I've been here since the beginning, and it did start with a prayer. A local pastor presided over the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance, pledged the Texas flag. All the speakers so far, other than the representative from SpaceXAI, have been negative, or they've got big concerns. So sorry, I had a bad signal at first, but that's because I was on Wi-Fi and I don't have my Starlink, so I took it off of Wi-Fi, so we're just on T-Mobile, which technically is Starlink, probably in this area. But each speaker has 2 minutes, and so far they've all been negative. That's all I can report on right now. But the representative from John, not sure of his last name, but he did a really good speech. He sounded genuine. He just didn't know all of the questions that people had yet. So he did a pretty good job of preemptively answering questions that people may have. And so I'll turn it back around so you can see the crowd.
Good morning, my name is Susan Scott Ross, and we have a home in Minnesota County Road 232, Ulysses, Texas. And here we have for the people of this county and the folks around here get off the call, because this is at a very inconvenient time to them. I want to encourage you to slow down, do independent environmental review, and put the reinvestment zone to a vote of the people. We're a government that's supposed to be for the people and by the people, and I don't think we've had any of that process here. I'm a 7th generation rancher. As I said, currently ranch off of 232. I'm a pro-property rights person because I'm a realtor. So I think it's very important that we have individual rights for property, but never at the expense of adjacent property owners. That's where it's a hard no. Putting a chip plant, as others have said, very more better than I can understand. That's a toxic brownfield site. There's a chip plant near there, and it's infiltrating the water. We have winds and slow down. Look at this. We can now see the complex that we built there. 2% apartment and from the all action space and floodwaters and contaminants and different minerals and all downstream. And frozen, what's the new people, the taxpayers of our county, and the big access places. Have this new
Here's the Grimes County Justice Center Annex. Animal shelter. People are parked way up the hill. A lot of people have left. The parking lot was absolutely full. So, if you're watching this live stream, you're interested in Terafab. So this is the hearing. People in the area are mainly against it. Everyone that gets up and speaks against it gets applause. So I'd say there's about 400 people here. I might be way off on that. There's 100 on this side of the building, probably another 100 on the other side of the building, 100 inside the building, and probably 100 who have left. So that's my guess. Probably about 400 people showed up in person for this hearing to either listen or voice their complaints, or possibly someone got up and spoke for it. I had plans of getting up and speaking for it, but I didn't get my form turned in time, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't. And I'm a little bit nervous about my Model X over there because I've got a SpaceX sticker on it. Got a couple of SpaceX stickers on it. Turn it around. They are giving out free waters for everyone because it's very hot. We've got TVs set up inside, outside, making it as accommodating as possible.
Mainly stocked, but we run Angus. I bought out a lot of the Clark range that was out outside Huntsville. They were Mr. Clark out in Cincinnati, and they ran for about 12, 13 years and decided they were going to liquidate a lot of it. So I bought 50 head, I bought 30 head. They're all, those are high genetics. So we're running that. I do stock replacements. We got the Angus side of it certified. Actually, I got calf cows, which are all certified certificates. And then we've got soccer stuff, which I do for replacement sales here in the county. I've sold 15, 20 bulls in the last 8, 9 years. And a bunch of calves. It pays some of the bills, not all the bills. How much left for third generation? I've never had money in the bank, so it's just kind of real life. Yeah, it's a cycle. I took about 100 years my uncle's got 11,000 acres after Eagle Lake, and he's part of the Cape Trust, so he married it.
Okay, I'm gonna head home. Well, I might loop through with my camera on so you can see all the cars. I'm really getting nervous about my car though.
Congratulations, you were listening. You heard us all say that it was illegal to hold a tax abatement public hearing before a public hearing for a reinvestment zone. So first, Rusty Surratt announced at the hearing and say that it was for both the reinvestment zone and for the decision about tax abatements. And hopefully for the
Okay, I'm gonna walk around the other side. Anybody have any questions?
Really good. I like it. I'm a carnivore. So, you don't need to eat tofu or cricket steaks or something else down the road. Ain't happening. Don't do sushi. That's the fish come out of my pond. Yeah, I'm electric. You can ask him. I don't have a filter. I'm usually fairly loud. That always gets me with a lot of trouble. I don't remember you said that, so it's up to
Extensive feasibility studies before we make decisions on major facilities such as this. This is massive. We look forward to it.
Okay, as speaker after speaker shows up to complain, I do see a lot of Teslas in the parking lot. I'm trying to keep a poker face in there because I want to laugh at most of the things that people are saying. If you're tuning into this on YouTube because of the title, you see me here, just be nice. I'll just say my speech here. My name is Wendy. I am a resident of Montgomery County, which is right next door. My mother and 3 sisters were born in Grimes County. My father worked his whole career at the Navasota Livestock Auction Barn here in Grimes County. I have deep roots here, but I also support SpaceX. And when I heard Terafab was going to be built in Grimes County, I got excited, but these people are not excited. It's going to bring 2,000, well, he said 1,800 jobs, $1 billion annual payroll for the people. It will, if these people have never been to SpaceX, if they went to SpaceX, they would see that as an artist and a nature photographer, the nature has not been disturbed. Let's count Teslas. Mine is on the other side of the building. I'm pretty sure it's the only one. Oh, I see 2 here. There's 1, 2, 3. I need to move my car over here. Maybe it'll be safer. I'm parked right in front of the DPS office, Department of Public Safety. You know, there's a Cybertruck down there and a blue Tesla that followed me in, parked right by him. I tried to get the spot, but it wasn't big enough. Okay, so I am going to go back around to the other side of the building. Get my car and bring it over here. I do think that the people who have been speaking have been affected by propaganda against the project. Maybe if they hang on to their land a little bit longer, it'll gain value. We bought land in Bastrop County when I first heard he was going to do the SpaceX headquarters there. Actually, when I first heard that he was building Gigafactory. That was 2021 in Austin. And I like Bastrop County, and then I heard that most of his companies were headquartered in Bastrop County, so we bought land there, and guess what? It's already doubled in value. And should I want to live there, it's beautiful, has not been affected one bit. So there's our Cybertruck friend, and our other Tesla friend. And then I know there's a Y on the other side. Oh, that's actually John's truck, I think. It's a SpaceX truck. Yeah, okay. So, I'm gonna move over here. Can't believe all these people are still here and they haven't left. looks like 1975 here.